Okay. Yes, this is just going to be a run through of where it's currently sitting. A couple important things to note with this new build. Firstly, we have a new audio track in by local Aussie, so shout out. Still a work in progress. This is just like the raw, unmastered, but yeah, just kind of gives some spooky cave vibes. Still using the projectile system, so in this case we start play with the dart. So every time an ore goes into the base, we shoot one in the exact direction. My goodness. Apparently we've swapped those out for these like pretty big projectiles, kind of hoping that they'll be a bit more clear. Now that the player is shooting all this stuff out, it's like a bit trickier to see once you start really hammering everything. Also, one big thing is that, as you'll see from this sniper, anything that hits you still has eyes on it, and anything that doesn't. And that's still the kind of core way that you can tell whether you need to be worried about dodging something. Snipers now also occasionally drop XP, just as kind of a bit more value there. Yeah, so this is kind of going in like a Risk of Rain, Megabonk style direction where there is a teleporter in each level to find. So, doing so will currently summon the boss. Then once you kill the boss, go through the teleporter, rinse and repeat. Excellent. Let's pierce and shot count is phenomenal. Let's do that. The numbers are extremely whack right now, so double shot count is just literally double damage, plus having pierce on top of it is arguably quadruple damage. In the right circumstance. So just farm a little XP. Apparently there aren't much in the way of 3.5 PS, it's also phenomenal. Case in point, one really useful thing about PS is that you can shoot a sniper multiple times. Excellent. Yeah, we have our multiple different weapons now, so obviously we got our blade, which shoots every 10 ores that come out. The big goal with the blade being that because it happens so slowly, you can really kind of position yourself towards it. If I have PS, we don't really need any of these upgrades, so I guess we'll just buff that. Excellent. See, there's our teleporter. Why not? I feel like we're pretty okay numbers-wise. Tricky corner to hit him from. It's mostly looking up down, isn't it? So let's just kite him from below, I guess. Ooh, extra shot count on all Ps. It's going to be helpful next level. The other big thing is that you have the omni-colored. Okay, so now I'm waiting for my blade to shoot downwards, and then I'm going to go underneath him. Backwards. Watch out. On blade. So that's the blade. And I would like to have some kind of graph so that you know when your projectiles are coming through. But for now, that's kind of all we need. Ore damage is probably going to be helpful for the start of the next wave. So once you kill the boss, every mob currently on the level dies, hence you just get this pile of XP drops. A bit more fierce. However, it also spawns a pile of snipers, which is what really forces you to get the leg up. And a plaque as well. Noting, of course, that this level doesn't have Jintum, so you can't actually kill the snipers, so it really is just a matter of survival. But then you can just immediately fail if you want. You don't have to stick around. So kind of just like one of those skill expression tests where you can kind of be as be as greedy as you want. My goodness, she's getting a little out of control. Probably should have left earlier than this. I don't care about Ronk anymore. Don't really care about that anymore. Cool. So when you go into a level, it just immediately gives you the whole pile of buildings that you'd built. So you don't have to worry about packing anything up. If that turns out to be too easy, maybe I'll put a curse in where you do have to pick them all back up, which could be kind of interesting for that little rush at the end. But currently every time I try to add something difficult, I just kind of put it in the backlog as something to do for what I'm calling curse mode. Which it works similarly to like an Ascension run. It's interesting. Yeah, essentially just the game is already too logistically taxing. It seems to be the big feedback from playtesting. So, yeah, I think there's lots of ways that we can ramp difficulty once players are familiar, but definitely not trying to add anything extra now. Case in point on the ease. Off-color ore used to deal no damage, but now deals exactly 1 damage, so it will take absolute yonks to kill these guys with Ronk, but it is doable. At least it provides you feedback that stuff is hitting, otherwise it might seem a little off. Don't really pierce on that. I wouldn't mind the crit damage though. Excellent, and then as you can see, map 2 we now have Argentum, which we can then use to make the pace more efficient. Will do. Let's go track down the first sniper. Should say crystal. Loss of habit, hey? And ideally what we want is a condenser. So now that we've got a condenser, we can start tracking down more Argentum. Let's put one lower. We use our condenser. And then the condenser, working similarly to the previous builds, just ups the ore's actual value, which in turn affects the quality of what is shot out. So as you see in a moment, find another Jinta to route it through. That would probably be ideal. Yeah, perfect. Let's use you. Put another. Don't have another Jintum yet, but we will in a moment. Let's just shoot these guys with Ronk in the meantime. The flip switch is also kind of useful here. As you can see, it ups the number of darts shot, the number of flax shot, and then there's that condenser on it. Perfect. Excellent. And then we should already see a pretty significant increase in damage. So let's just get flat damage on the P. Yeah, as you can see, they're all just a little bit more damage. Because we have such rapid fire darts already, you don't really notice it as much, but it is definitely there. Excellent. The final thing I want to do before I track down this boss is I'm going to swap this one out now. Sure. And I'm going to actually put you in as a condenser as well. That way, we're still getting our double lines in, like such. Now we've got an extra condenser going in, and now that we've got that, we can start looking for this border, and there it is. Perfect. There is going to be a little moment before the teleporter spawn, before the new Jintum gets the whole way up. It's probably about fine. Pick this friend up. And we found ourselves a pretty good nook where there isn't a huge amount. Dodge. It's going to cause us a problem though. Okay, you can see the new upgraded ore is about to come through. And then you saw how much damage you did before, so now we can see how much damage we're doing now. We can check out whether or not the pretty good damage. The fact that it's only coming in from one direction is making this fight somewhat challenging. That is part of the beauty. You can see just the absolute barrage we're shooting out now. Honestly, let's swap your direction. Because don't have much space on that side. Shoot into it. Classic. Now, let's go deal with the solo. As you can see, once they all die, let's take some flak pierce, I guess. Once they all die, simply just a bucket load of crystals have spawned. The blue crystals are a bit more mean as well, so that's just a thing to be aware of. Let's get some moral damage, I guess. Grabbing as much XP as I can before the blue orbs start to become a real nightmare, but honestly, they are tough enough that it's probably worth not spending longer than we need to. Then, PS, in debugging, this map is static, but the level builder is still working as you would expect. So, you can see we have an extra building there, bug that is still yet to be fixed, as is the joy of game dev. And this time, let's be a little bit more proactive with our Ronk as well, just to help keep the place clear. That should give us a pretty good pile of both Jintum and Ronk. Should look at all those ones, just hammering it. As you can see, you can kill them with off-color ore. Excellent. Now we've got to find some. Long-term plan is to put some kind of pot in where it's like, yeah, it's like you can just kind of walk around the map and smash. That will just give you a little more to do on the start. And ideally, as you can see, until we kill our first blue mobs, still haven't got any remote buildings yet. So yeah, so some pots that just drop those starting buildings, I think is a big part of the plan. But yeah, lots to do with these new mechanics now that I'm pretty happy with how they all work. So yeah, fitting them together is kind of going to be the next big puzzle. Trying to do things like balancing numbers, but overall I'm really happy with this this shooting mechanic. It's worked out about as well as one could hope. Oh my gosh, he's got a lot of health. There's an ad Dremel going in. There you go. Cool. And from that, I should be coming through any moment now. Oh my gosh. Has so much health. What I'm really looking for, I think that's probably perfect. now that we've got both a quad drill and a 2-2 flip switch, we can finally make our super efficient. Move you now. We can now make our super efficient ore patch, which will take it's an unfortunate spot for it. Oh goodness. As is the ways. Perfect. And we're actually running a little low on switches, which is interesting. So tracking down a few more Ronk enemies is going to be helpful. Although with this new wave of Rimmel, I would anticipate that's going to be enough to clear out anything we're worried about. Then just as far as a couple other game things to mention, obviously everything's got health scaling on it for the longer the game is played, just so that there is kind of like a race. You don't really have the switches for any more. No, which is a bit of a problem, but that's an absolute pile of blues coming through. I would anticipate that that will be more than enough. Oh, the teleport was up here, wasn't it? Excellent. Well, let's put this new blue damage to the test. Yeah, as you can see, that quad drill that is then getting only condensed a single time is just absolutely doing numbers on this boss. And then obviously a lot of this looks very like the bosses look quite weak in this kind of playtesting, but from every time I give it to actual playtesters, the ore efficiency that they get is so much lower that these bosses do take significantly longer. Obviously there'll be some more balance tweaks there, but yeah, as you can see, we're just absolutely chewing through this one. And obviously we've still only got the big ghost mobs for bosses right now, but putting in a few more actual bullet hell mechanics later on. Probably ideally have maybe 3 bosses for the demo. It's kind of hard to tell just how small a demo should be. Honestly, pretty good on everything other than switches. I'm not seeing any switches. So I think this may just be all we've got. Well, last but not least. Just for the sake of having a little bit of every color damage, I think it's probably worth starting with. Even just a 2-2, I'm not going to bother trying to condense anything. With the efficiency we know we can get, we don't really need to worry too much. The fact that we absolutely wiped the last boss means that we should be in an extremely good way. Yeah, with this final boss, just gotta track down some Garium. I believe we can find a second one. Lack of Grimalt over that way is gonna be a bit annoying. I spend a lot of ore a lot of switches trying to get ore over to it though. We honestly just greed it and let that Grimalt. Oh, you're actually perfect. Let's use you. Gary. Okay. Good. Garium over this way too. Yeah, let's double it. Let's just really cook this final boss for the sake of flexing. We're going to run out of switches. Catastrophic. Yeah, just a little shot. Come on, switches. It's black damage. It's actually been a while since we've got level up. I guess we've just been kind of speedrunning it. One switch short. Kind of funny. One other thing that I want to strive for is some kind of relics. One big one being, just because the game does end up with so much visual noise, I really like the idea of a relic that, oh, it's already going in. You'd love to see it. Because there's so much visual noise as is. Something that halves the amount of projectiles you shoot and doubles the damage, or like 2.25s the damage. Such that, let's kill that rock slime if we can. Surely we're only one switch away. Yeah, perfect. Excellent. So that should really hammer it. Yeah, gorgeous. Teleporter was near our first Garium, if memory serves. One unfortunate thing, we don't really need these extra Garium weapons as of yet. Future goals, potentially making it even stronger, something like the ability to put down an extra base, like in the old demo, would be helpful. Walking into it. Space. We've got a lot of space going up, so I'm kind of leaning towards deep. Oh, we do have the switches. Let's just do that. Start shooting instead. Yeah, so relics like that just like slightly affect how you play, or just kind of give you incremental buffs, things like extra XP gain, that kind of thing, I think would really help. And then you can obviously get some really OP relics later on if you want. Excellent, and that's the final boss. So this time we do just spit out a whole pile of Garium snipers with a massive amount of health, so you can still clear them out. Like you could exist in this forever, which maybe for some kind of stretch goal that would be worth it. You know, like some kind of additional challenge, like survive for as long as you can, or kill as many things as you can, and then we can put them on like the Steam high scoreboards. But for now, yeah, that's really how this build is looking. Overall, really happy with it. We still only got the one character and those 3 weapons, but as far as like a vertical slice that we can really build off of for a finalized release, it's looking really good, to be honest. Goal, tentatively, but I'm optimistic. If we can ship it near the end of the year, I think it'll be in about as good a state as it's going to get. If anyone played it back in the day, you'll know just how long this game has been getting noodled. Awesome. Yeah, I think that's everything I've got to say. So if you watch this, cheers. Look forward to the full release, hopefully this year. Yeah. Touch wood. Right. Oh yes, where on earth is that teleporter? Should end the proper way. Excellent, I only took 3 damage, which is kind of astounding. Awesome. Cheers for watching.